Life on the road ain't easy for a wrestler. No time for chasing away pretenders. Ring rats, painted faces, and big talkers. Don't get me started on the stalkers. But life often needs more than a tag team partner. I'm looking for something that goes farther. But that person needs to put up with a lifestyle, long road trips, red-eye flights, and driving through seeming pastures. I've been booking for love with all the wrong characters, loving Taco Bell and Waffle House.
Welcome everyone to the pilot episode of Booking for Love. And this is a show and this is a pilot. And like the religion of dudism is the only religion based knowingly on a fictional character, the dude from The Big Lebowski. This pilot, unlike Star Trek where they had that Captain Pike episode, we also have a pretty good idea that this show in the future will be very different than it is right now. Nevertheless, we forge on because it's important. Booking for Love is a concept that was stumbled upon on the Gospel of Thomas podcast that I co-host with my best friend, Mr. Thomas. I am not his best friend. He's just my best friend, to be clear.
He's you. Yeah.
Yep. And we were talking to the voice you just heard. Her name is Shazza McKenzie. Miss McKenzie, please tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
G'day, mate. I'm
G'day.
from Australia. That's the like baseline easiest thing to explain to people who don't know me is that I am from Australia, and you will have trouble understanding my terminology and my wording sometimes. I've been living in America for 3 years, and I still stumble across sayings that I don't realize are Australian until like an American like looks at me very confused as to what I'm saying. So, but yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I interrupted the intro with my need to remind you that you are not Thomas's best friend, but Thomas is your best friend.
Exactly. Thank you for.
And we all have relationships like that in our lives. If you don't have a best friend that isn't actually your best friend, that is they're someone else's best friend, then I don't know what you're doing. It's just the way the world works.
That's right. What are we doing out here? But this is not about Thomas, although I'm sure he'd like it. Yeah, he'd like it to be without him being here. That's like his dream. Something to be about him without him having to do anything. But no, this is about, well, not even so much you, but a little bit about you. So beyond being from Australia and living here 3 years, what else makes you interesting?
I'm a professional wrestler. Is that what we're going for?
That's what
does that make
for.
me interesting?
It does.
Okay, I was like, yeah, I guess I'm a professional wrestler. I guess that's pretty unique. It's pretty good. If you're at like a job, like little like group meeting where you got to break the ice and everyone's got to say something about themselves, that's usually my go-to. Not that I've been to a job thing like that in many years now, but if I had, that's what I would be going to. When I eventually go to a job interview at some point and they say, tell us something funny about yourself or what makes you unique, I'm a professional wrestler.
That's exactly
classic.
Right. And she's been a professional wrestler for like 18 years.
Many years.
Yeah.
Because I started when I was 10. It's crazy.
Exactly. It is wild. The laws in Australia, that there are no laws in Australia.
They just let me do it.
Yeah. Especially that Northwest Territories or some such state or province. I'm so good on my Oceania.
Your geography here is great. You've nailed it.
That's right. And right there on the Sea of Tasman. So anyway, on the Gospel of Thomas, when we're talking to Shazza, if you've never listened to the show, you should, but we don't really get into people's personal lives. It's like people mention if they're married or have kids from time to time or whatever, but like poking into people's lives isn't something that I do the first time I meet them. But it's not the first time Thomas met her. And so he sort of asked her a few questions, and we stumbled upon a wonderful, wonderful concept of trying to make Shazza like our Bachelorette version, but she had like all these fantastic criteria that made it, very, very difficult, but interesting to try to find the right person with the right fit. And they were terrific. I'm not going to go.
I don't think my criteria was like too outlandish.
I don't either. I
I
think
think I was
given
just
your
asking for like decent human beings.
it was a little bit more like that, but I agree with you that it was not outlandish for somebody who's 28 years old and and looking for certain things in a rather strange industry that does not always lend itself to successful relationships intra industry. So if you want to hear about all those, go back and listen to that show. Now, well, first, we actually figured out that at the time, and this was like a year ago, a lot of time has gone by. Um, we uh, so we had some successes along the way and some challenges along the way. But the challenge was I realized at some point if I just open this up to anybody as a contestant, she could end up getting killed or hurt. And I don't want either of those things to happen because of a stupid show. And there's no amount of releases and things like that protect against that.
I watch too much true crime. I could have defeated anyone. I know everything to look out for. I'm ready.
All right. I see. Fate.
I'm too on it. That's
Fate
how I made it
favors
this far.
yeah. Fortune favors the brave, and I wasn't brave. I screwed up. In any event, in the interim, Shazza has become unavailable. We're not going to elaborate on that, but she's become unavailable.
Uninterested in finding a mate.
Right.
Is how
Uninterested
I'm
in finding a mate.
finding a
Yeah.
mate.
Okay. Listen, I think it's fine if when you elaborate. I just didn't.
I
I
like
just
the
didn't.
term finding a mate.
That's fine. I did not want to be the one to
Sorry.
utilize any words for you and, step into a tiger trap. Yes, that is really my talent in life is to step into tiger traps. All right.
Let's step into a tiger trap.
Right. So I could find contestants, but I couldn't find contestants that were nearby. I couldn't find contestants that were willing to travel. I couldn't find contestants that I would allow to be contestants. I couldn't find contestants that I thought that she would allow to be contestants. There were a couple on the borderline we talked about. So I started talking to professional matchmakers in the Midwest. And Oscar, I hope they were really matchmakers. Each one of them in their LinkedIn photo is more spectacular looking than the next. I'm not sure if they're really matchmakers or not. Though in the interim, I did see a movie on matchmaking and the people cast in those roles were pretty spectacular looking too. And I'm sure that that's totally realistic. In any event, none of them, a couple of them liked the idea. One of them said they bring it to the management committee. A couple of them said their client's privacy was paramount. I'm like, well, couldn't you talk to some of them and see if they wanted to be on this? Like it might be a thing. Anyway, that wasn't getting anywhere. And then, like a gift from the gods on a Facebook group of all places for podcasters, I ran into somebody who had been a professional matchmaker for over a quarter of a century. And she was out of the industry, but she lived in Hollywood. And I asked her for some information, and it is Lindsay Rose, the love doc, who may pop in at any time. She indicated she would. My guess is either something has happened or the time switch, was that she had a PJ Black moment where the Eastern time zone was just not,
Too many time zones.
Yeah.
It's too much.
You know what I did with PJ? I used to tell him Ring of Honor time. So he was, so he'd get here on time. But I don't have the same reference with Lindsay. Anyway, she loved the idea. And she was going to help with that. I think she found a pretty good contestant, but she's not actively in that business. And she wanted me to big time it. So she's like, stop being a lawyer. Come to Hollywood and let's sell. You're too talented. I'm like, okay, even if this idea is really good, all you know is that I've had one good idea in my life. I mean,
hey, all you need in this business, in showbiz, one good idea. It's all you need in showbiz. You can ride one good idea for the rest of your life. Plenty of people have. Plenty of bloody grifters out there doing it. Grifting away.
'Tis true. But there were other encumbrances like, job, marriage, bills, stepchild,
Fine.
actual children, cats.
Oh.
Exactly.
All these things.
All these things. See, Shazza understands. She's been there. So here's some of the fun ideas that I was going to do. And the contestants, in addition to your typical dating thing where they, what's your ideal, date or go to the beach or whatever. First of all, they weren't going to be in a mansion. They were going to be living independent wrestler style. We were going to rent out like a comfort inn or something. And like they'd all have the comfort inn. They would have to walk in Shazza's shoes. Not literally, but they'd have to do what you do. So they'd have to keep up like every day you work out and you pose your pictures of doing big muscle things and biceps and stuff like that. And you wake up at
Big muscle
ridiculous times.
things.
Yeah, big muscle things. I think that's what
I do big
Hammerstone
muscle
calls it
things.
too. So yeah. Um, so they'd have to see if they could keep up with you on a workout. They'd have to go with you to indie shows, or at least, whether it's a road trip, they'd have to take the road trip.
Or they'd have to get in that car. They'd have to get in that car and do that drive.
They'd have to do the drive. They'd have to work the merch table and watch it while you're working. They'd have to maybe they'd have to go to wrestling school for a couple days or a couple weeks. Maybe we'll get a sponsor from a wrestling school. Who knows? They'd have to do a photo shoot because you do photo shoots. Maybe we'll get a sponsor from a
I love a good
photographer.
photo shoot.
Huh?
I love a photo shoot.
I know you love it.
Doing a photo shoot this week.
And they would love it too.
Always.
Absolutely. You're
Always doing photo shoots.
You're very glamorous. And folks, even though she is unavailable for a mate, you can still support a hot girl. So, and
Please support a hot girl.
yes, and
She's still got bills.
indeed
She just doesn't
does.
have time to search
right.
for a mate
That's right.
in the universe.
Especially one's named Bill.
Because she's too busy being a hot girl.
That's right. And fighting and beating up boys.
Well, yeah, wrestling 102 matches in 1 year was a pretty time-consuming task.
Yeah, congratulations for that, by the way. You had a goal and you not only hit it, but you exceeded it.
Unfortunately, I do always hit my goals.
That's not
It's
unfortunate.
it's a blessing and a curse.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a blessing. So what else was I going to have them do? I was going to have them also have to do cameos because that's part of like the life of a celebrity. You got to do cameos, so they'd have to do it and see if they can put up with what you have to put up with, a smile on their face. If you're going on red eyes, early flights and late flights, they have to take that trip with
All
you
day, every day, of course.
all day, every day. And if that means that they have to pick up your friends in a city that's a couple hours out of the way from a straight line, that's just how it's going to be.
That's just the reality of it.
That's right. Life on the road.
My best friend lives 5 hours away.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
my best
And
friend
then the
lives
rest of them
much
live on the other
further.
side of the world. So
Yeah, but I'm sure my best friend's best friend lives closer to him. So
yes,
yeah,
your best friend's best friend is
that's
maybe
like
my best friend.
could be. It's like that car song,
Could
my
be.
best friend's girlfriend.
Best friend's girlfriend. I don't know what I'm saying.
Mine. It's okay. You're doing fine. So yeah, so that was going to be part of the challenges in it, along with the normal stuff. And we also, Lindsay Lovedock enlisted a psychologist or a narcissistic specialist, probably a little bit of both, who was going to pay attention to the show. And around halfway through the midpoint episode she was going to give counseling to Shazza, and prospectively whoever the contestant is, or the star is, on what their thoughts are on the various contestants, warning flags, green lights, yellow lights, red lights, 1, 2, 3, go, stop. And we also had judges. The judges were going to be called advocates because no one gets to judge. No one gets to pick except for the star. But, we can have it. Yeah. I was concerned that there's a
but you want to listen to the advice of people around you. Like no girl starts dating a man without her friends giving their thoughts, and even if they don't approve,
exactly.
You still need their thoughts and opinions before you go ahead.
And we wanted at least one of the judges to be one of your girlfriends, and for that kind of inspiration in there. And that's still something that I think I would be going for in the future. Alas, time went by and she became unavailable, and I still could not solve this pesky contestant thing. But I think I can going forward with Lovedock fully on board, although she's not here right now, so I'm not sure how fully on board she is. But she sent a today in the text. So all of that is good, and all of that is fun, And if you're out there and you're in wrestling and you're single and you want to be possibly booked for love, you can reach me. My DMs are usually open, though somebody told me they couldn't DM me. I cannot imagine that I'm so important that there was somebody who was not able to get into my DMs. But you can find me on my less offensive account at Icarus Spell MD, and my much less.
What's your offensive? Why do you have an offensive account and a less offensive account?
I don't. It was just the one for wrestling was filled with wrestling nonsense, and it's been
Is the
very,
wrestling one the offensive one?
yes, and that's the one you know. So obviously it's not that bad, but it's also been I've been much more demure on it the last couple of years for
It's like you do be hating on some of my friends sometimes, and I say, "You don't know these people. I'll fucking fight you," but I let it happen.
well, it's
I let it happen.
yeah. I doubt I hate on them personally.
No, on their wrestling, you hate on some of my friends' wrestling, and I said, "I'll end you."
Oh well, well you have to find me to end me. So it's
I know where you are.
you do
I'll
know.
track you.
Yeah, no, it's
Figure it out.
it's yeah.
I'm sure Thomas will give me the address.
He totally would sell me out, but you have but you have to remember I'm married to a South American woman, so you have to factor that in. Yeah. So
I'm not good at fighting.
you're not good at fighting. This doesn't make sense. So anyway,
Nothing makes sense.
at dose_evil on the X. You can also find me on the Facebook. I said my name, I think, at the beginning, Jeff Lippman. That's my real name. You can email me, lippman.jeff@gmail.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. There's like a million places to find me, the Wrestling Soup Discord. And if you're interested, you can keep it confidential until it's not. And we're gonna figure this stuff out. We've got original music, as you heard at the beginning. We'll hear at the end. The Love Doc will have, hopefully be fully engaged. Hopefully our psychologist Alana will as well. Well, do you want to tell the folks sort of what your criteria were for the minimally acceptable mate?
I don't remember what like the specifics were. I remember it was like very much like needed to have a steady job, a good job, like an actual job, not a wrestling, not I do this job, in between my wrestling bookings job. It had to own that, ideally own their house, or like have like a steady place of like not living in like a share house with 3 of their mates, like not living at home.
Right.
If they're living with their parents, it's only in a sense of like their parents, they are their parents' caretaker. That was acceptable, obviously, because that's shows a good sense of family. And, I understand the reality of the economy that we live in. Like, I do understand that, but like still have to have like you're independent, like you have to be an independent human,
right? You're the independent one. You're not living with your parents because you need to live with your parents. You're living with your parents because they need to live with you.
They need you. They need gosh, I don't even, what else was there was
health insurance was a big one. Access
health I think that health insurance goes in with the having a job. Having a decent job.
I have been told by many an independent wrestler, you can be a very successful independent wrestler, but there's not access to health insurance necessarily through that particular career path. There might be in the shoot job.
That's not I someone that they can have health insurance. They just need to have health insurance. Everyone needs to have health insurance. Okay. Yeah. I think that's very important that people have health insurance.
I agree.
Even if I do also think it's a scam, and everything in this country is broken.
It is, but there's
theory,
there's
nice.
broken and there's things that are just, untenable, and things that are broken theoretically can be fixed. But yes, there's a lot of imperfection in the system, but it'd still be
rant about this system forever. It's evil system.
Oh yeah, no, I'd love to, but I already have April Hunter for that. So and she's so good at that. Not that you
she hates the system. But she makes really good candles.
She does lots of great things, and hey, you're welcome to come on that show as well. Because I know you love giving your time away on podcasts for me.
I
Um,
love being on podcasts. It's my favorite thing to do.
I know, especially the ones with me. I know, and third guests who aren't here. So yeah, so there was that. There were a few other things as well. But those were the big ones. I mean, what was they
Yeah.
could not have been or ever will be or ever had been a member of the professional wrestling industry.
Yes. And I think I probably would have included that they wanted to be that ideally they didn't have kids previously, but that they wanted kids. That was definitely a
That might have been there in
nah.
there as well. Not sure, but
Yeah.
again,
Right.
it was there. It's all on the show, Gospel of Thomas, with the title
Yeah.
shows "Along Comes Shazza" or "Along Comes Shazza," because along came Shazza.
I did.
Indeed, you did,
I'm just like
and
Sally.
yeah, and you're like unforgettable. There's that song, "Along Comes." Was it Sally? Yeah, "Along
Is
Comes
it
Sally."
Sally or Polly? I don't know. It's not come someone.
Yeah,
I feel like it has a Y at the end.
it absolutely has a Y at the end of it. You're 100% correct. To the extent that I'm 98% sure of that.
Yes.
It's like Sex Panther. So 60% of the time it works 100% of the time. So there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So that was going to be the original show. Right now we are without a single, and the single, of course, can be a man or a woman. I imagine non-binary is available as well, as long as there are contestants for that. I mean, this has franchise potential for everything. Spin-offs, franchises, international, other countries, other continents, undiscovered territories like Antarctica. Netflix, are you hearing me? You already did a show with OVW, the wrestlers. I mean, that could be the wrestling school. They're photographers. You got people there. I mean, of course, I'd like to, you to support, my promotion of MLW and have their photographer, Donnie Darko or Danny Darko, and their folks. But whatever it is, and if it's not Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Apple,
All the
Tubi,
places,
all
all the
places,
streamings.
all streamings.
We're open to them all.
We're open to them all. We're open to them all. And and who knows? Maybe she'll be available by the time all the paperwork gets done. You never know. But Shazza McKenzie, you've been a great sport. It was so fun meeting you the first time. You didn't have to maintain any sort of silly relationship with me whatsoever. You were a person of your word, and you said
I
that you
have
would.
to.
Well, you have to because of your own internal compulsions, but your internal compulsions are exactly what I like in a person. That they say that they do what they say and they say what they do.
Unfortunately, I do. I just do what I say. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Well, no one
I
else take
wish.
advantage of her. So, but you've been a good egg, a good Aussie. You're going to be a great American. Um, whatever the heck that
God
means.
bless.
God
God
bless.
bless the USA.
Exactly right. Exactly right indeed. Love Doc, we miss you, but we're going to carry on without you. But I'm not going to carry on without you because you are integral to moving this project forward because honestly, it's bigger than me. And my, we'll just call it my office. But folks, I know it's a little bit of an odd show, but that's okay. It's supposed to be. But in the future, it will be it'll have a structure with contestants and, all sorts of stuff like that. And probably have to be visual as well as being audio. Today, we were not doing that because we're not prepared for that. But yeah,
As I said, I'm not putting makeup on.
I don't even remember that you said that, but I went to made it visual
I said that in
anyway.
my head.
Okay,
It's
well,
definitely what I had.
well, I probably heard it. I think that maybe I heard it, or one of my cats heard it and they told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably part of it. Anyway, I've given you my social medias if you want to contact me, and especially if you're interested in this. If you're interested in this and nothing else, like you don't want to be a guest on Gospel of Thomas or anything, that's fine. You give me parameters, I will tend to respect them. I'm an adult. Shazza, you can verify that
He
I'm
is
an old man.
he is in fact an adult.
I'm an adult. Yeah, I don't have grandchildren, but I could. We'll just put it that way. I mean, biological clock ticking, and it wouldn't be, considered that like I was promiscuous young or anything like that. It's like I'm old enough. Shut up about me. Who cares? We're not here about me. I'm just the host. She's
I was like,
laughing.
I could also have grandchildren in
Yes, you
theory.
could. Do you?
No,
Okay, well, that's
but
good.
I could
You,
in theory.
I bet you could.
I am of the age that I could.
I mean, biblically.
I think there's definitely grandparents my age.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, there's great grandparents my age, but that's
Mm,
a different. I mean,
whole other world.
you should have seen like how it was in Acadia back in the day. Oh my goodness! And then the Assyrians, just forget about it. And the Hittites, they had no morals. So just it was all like that. All right, folks, listen. Look out for this show in the future. Hopefully, you'll support all the other stuff. My other shows, which are a bit more structured, like this one, will be in the future. The future, the future. Trademark office. Listen, the future, the future, the future. We're in interstate commerce, commerce. Garden of Thought. There's 2 to 3 shows on that a week. A little bit like Joe Rogan's show, except less broness and utter embrace of conspiracy, but we dance with that. Probably a little bit more academic as well. And also there's a lot of realpolitik and legal stuff in there as well, but stuff that I think will have universal appeal, like stuff like immigration or the laws of space. It's a little bit like if you turn on the History Channel, it's 7 p.m. and you fall asleep and it's still on at 3 a.m. and all the landscape in between. And then, of course, there's the show with the wrestlers co-host, which right now is primarily Mr. Thomas. So it's called The Gospel of Thomas because I love my naming conventions. And the first co-host was PJ Black, who named it The Book of Black. So now everything has to be a book and the wrestler's last name, as opposed to giving the audience any clue that has anything to do with wrestling whatsoever. And
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm also populating a network called Wrestling Soup and Friendos. Many of you might be familiar with Wrestling Soup, which has been a wrestling podcast for like 16 years, very successful, like top 10, top 15, like perennially. Wrestling Soup and Friendos is a separate feed, so please subscribe to it. But we've got lots of content on there and lots of new stuff coming, including we're going to get Australian indie wrestling covered by a guy in Australia. Isn't that cool?
Woo woo.
Yeah, some of your friends.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, hell to the yeah. So yeah, support that stuff and support Wrestling Soup. Thank them for giving a platform. And since Misha's the one who's going to be producing this and editing and splicing it together, we thank him for that in advance. Folks,
Thank you.
Miss McKenzie, I thank you very much for your time, your patience and endurance, and being a person of honor. I appreciate that.
I am a woman of honor.
Indeed, you are a woman of honor. All right,
As I've
everybody
wrestled
support
for Ring of
Shazza
Honor.
McKenzie. Support a hot girl. Tell them how they can
Yes.
find and support a hot girl.
Just go to shazmckenzie.com. It's all there. You'll just find it all. There's links to everything. All my socials, all my content sites, all my merch sites. One easy place. shazmckenzie.com.
Her day in the life videos are really, really funny. I mean, even if you don't listen to what she says, they just look funny. So
I think the key is to listen to me when I do it, because I never retake my voiceover. My voiceover is always, it's the first time that I've watched the video in full, and I just voice over it.
that's
I
great.
just talk about what I see.
And today you released something where you were lip syncing a rap song. So that was pretty good too. Yeah.
Because that was on my TikTok last night, and I said I'm going to do that, and because had it stuck in my head.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know how to pronounce her name anymore, but I'll pronounce it the old way. Becca, look out. So I knew how to pronounce it with a backwards 3, but I don't know how to pronounce it with an E in there. So
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, it's very tough. I don't speak Slovakian or whatever that language is. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Shazza, great to see you again. And folks, keep supporting us. Thank you.